Hi, good afternoon. Let me get started, class. Okay, here I am. I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Okay, today, class, we are going to be reading Sacred Objects by Ada Limon. And we're going to read this more than once, which I've always, reiterated to you how important it is to read not only poetry, but any kind of literature more than once. So I'm going to start. Sacred Objects. I'm driving down to Tennessee, but before I get there, I stop at the Kentucky state line to fuel up and pee. The dog's in the car and the weather's fine. As I pump the gas, a man in his black Ford F-150 yells out his window about my body. I usually can't remember what it was. Nice tits, nice ass, something common that I've been hearing my whole life. Except sometimes it's not nice ass, it's big ass or something a bit more cruel. I pretend not to hear him. I pretend my sunglasses hide my whole body and I'm made invisible. Right then, a man with black hair, who could be an uncle of mine, pulls by in his truck and nods. He's towing a trailer that's painted gray with white letters. The letters read Sacred Objects. I imagine a trailer full of Las Virgens de Guadalupe, all wobbly from their travels, concrete or marble or wood. All of these female statues hidden together in this secret shadowed place on their way to find a place where they'll be safe, even worshipped, or at least in the very least allowed to live in the light. Okay, so that was the first reading. I'm going to go ahead and read it again, and I'm going to pause, and I'm going to ask you for analysis, and I'm going to give my analysis of what I read. Okay. Sacred Objects. I'm driving down to Tennessee, but before I get there, I stop at the Kentucky state line to fuel up MP. Okay, we know that Limon's choice of words are quite casual. She says, I stop at the Kentucky state line to fuel up and pee. She doesn't say, go to the ladies' room. She doesn't say, go to the bathroom, go to the restroom. She doesn't say, I need to fuel up my vehicle. She just says, fuel up and pee. When we are reading this kind of literature, poetry, or anything else, we need to really look at, the diction and the word choice that authors, or in this case, poets choose. Okay. That's just a little side note. The next line. The dog's in the car and the weather's fine. As I pump the gas, a man in his black Ford F-150 yells out his window about my body. Okay, she uses the word fine for describing weather. We'll come back to that in a little bit. But she could have said the weather's lovely. It's a nice day. The weather's nice. But she said the weather's fine. Okay. And then she goes on to say that a man in a black Ford F-150 yells out his window about my body, her body. Okay. When I think of this, and I'm sure you share the same sentiments, but she could have said the truck, the Ford F-150 was any color, but she said black. Okay. So we know that, when you hear the word black, when you see the word black, you think of something that's not obviously not bright. It's kind of dark, literally and figuratively. She's in the next line, she says, actually can't remember what it was that he said. Nice tits, nice ass, something common that I've been hearing my whole life. Again, looking at Limon's word choice, she says nice tits, nice ass, which is of course what he says. But she doesn't say that he says, oh, nice breasts or nice bum or nice bottom. She uses those kind of words with vulgarity, okay? Um, then, the next line, she says, except sometimes it's not nice ass, it's big ass or something a bit more cruel. So, the key word that I see here, and I'm going to bold it, is sometimes. So this has occurred on more than one occasion. She knows, we know that it's happened before. Okay. And going back to line 2, where it says the weather's fine, I see this correlation between the word fine and then the way this gentleman, no, I won't even say gentleman because he's not behaving like a gentleman, but this man, is talking about her body. And when we think of, the word fine, sometimes we hear, a man or a lady say, oh, that person's fine, So I picture, her using that word purposefully. Okay. So next, she says, I pretend not to hear him. I pretend my sunglasses hide my whole body and I'm made invisible. Okay, so she wants to not be there, is what we can read from this line. Okay, she probably has some sunglasses as big as my glasses that are dark, and she just wants to be invisible, to not be seen. Um, and I think, anyone could relate to that, whether someone is, shaming you about your body or be having a sexist attitude, which in this case, could actually be considered sexual harassment. Okay, so then I'm going down to the next line. It says, right then, a man with black hair who could be an uncle of mine pulls by his truck and nods. Okay. So, when she says the words, could be an uncle of mine, uh, do you think that means like she feels safe, with, her family? I think so because, she says, could be an uncle of mine, and he doesn't do anything or say anything inappropriate. He just nods. And the next line, she says, he's towing a trailer that's painted gray with white letters. The letters read sacred objects. Okay. Now we know anything about the word sacred or sacred objects. We know that they aren't something to be messed with, to throw, to rip apart, to break. If you've ever been in a synagogue, a temple, a church, a mosque, you know that there are certain things that you just don't touch. You don't mess with. You don't, you just, you're in awe of what they are, and you kind of let them be. Okay. So going down to the next line, she says, I imagine a trailer full of Las Virgens de Guadalupe, all wobbly from their travels, concrete or marble or wood. Okay. So to give you some context about this, Las Virgens, or the Virgin de Guadalupe, is the mother of Jesus, Mary. And actually in Mexico, I believe his name was Juan Diego. He had a cloth, and in it was, I guess overnight there was a painting of the Virgin Mary, or in this case, they say La Virgen de Guadalupe. Okay. Um, and there is that connotation of Catholicism thrown in there. Okay. And the last lines go like this. All of these female statues hidden together in this secret shadowed place on their way to find a place where they'll be safe, even worshipped, or at the very least allowed to live in the light. Okay. So if well, I guess not everyone knows, but Catholics use the Virgin, or Mary, the Virgin Mary, as a to as an intercession between them and God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. Okay, so they're not exactly worshipped, or Mary isn't worshipped. But in this instance, she wants to be able to feel that, she is a woman. that she is gentle and that she shouldn't be catcalled. And then last but not least, she says, at the very least, allowed to live in the light. She has her big sunglasses. She wants, when I think of this, I picture her wanting to be able to be out in the city or town she is and not be her sexually harassed or catcalled or told ugly things. Okay. So this prose poem indicates, an issue with how women are treated, and it it boils down to how Limon feels and how sometimes women do feel objectified in this world. Okay, so that's all for now, class. Thank you again, and we will pick this up tomorrow. Thank you.